All right, so I'm here with Joe Zee, the creative director of ELLE Magazine, and you actually have a great new TV series coming out called All on the Line.
Mm-hmm.
It starts September 6th.
It does, on Sundance Channel.
Yes, on Sundance Channel. I actually watched the first 2 episodes, and they were great. I wish there was more. That came on the disc, I know. So I kind of looked at it almost as like Project Runway sort of meets Kitchen Nightmares, because Kitchen Nightmares are kind of like revamp the line. So I was wondering maybe if you could tell us a bit more about the series.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, it's really every episode I come in and work with a struggling designer that's about to go out of business, or at least at a crossroads with their business. And I really try to help everything that I can to turn their business around. So whether it's a product or business or marketing or whatever it is that they need help with, I come in and do it. So I always say, listen, I'm part designer, part marriage counselor, part therapist, part guidance counselor, like everything I need to be to sort of make it work. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. It's just really what real life is about, at least in the fashion industry.
Yeah, that's true. And so I was wondering, based on I guess, how the series works, have you had certain circumstances in your life, maybe when you were given a second chance? Because that's kind of what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably in my life, I've had a lot of second chances, and I think I've had incredible mentors in my life, in my career, that have helped inspire me to want to push harder. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily a second chance, but I've had people who have made me want to be a better version of myself, or work harder to do the things that I needed to do.
And that's kind of what you're doing.
And that's what I'm trying to get them to do. Like, I need them to sort of tap into what their ultimate potential is. You know, so I see potential in them. I need them to see it in themselves.
Yeah. And so in the show, I find that almost the designers need that extra push. Is there ever a certain circumstance when maybe you think that maybe you're sacrificing more than the designer, and you kind of have to step back and put it in their hands?
Yeah, I think I had a lot of those certain situations with the designers during All on the Line. You know, I think it was tough at times because, you know, when you talk about a creative person, especially in the world of fashion, there's egos. There's so many things that come into play that I've got to work around. So, yeah, because you know what? A lot of it was also my reputation, what I had to do. You know, it wasn't just them, but it was a lot of times I had to call the buyers.
Yeah,
I
get
them
to,
they're my contacts. I had to get them to trust me. I asked my designer friends to come in and give their words of advice. You know, they did it for me. And I wanted those designers I was working with to have some takeaway. But if they refuse to listen or refuse to hear, it's a tough call.
Which some of them do.
Yeah.
It's on a couple episodes. It's kind of a back and forth. So I noticed in every episode, the editorial director of Elle.com, Keith Pollack, has the opportunity to feature them on Elle.com. So on Fashion Notes, obviously, we're an online website, and we're really interested in all things like social media and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, how important do you think the internet is to fashion?
I think the internet is so important to fashion. I think what it's done, it's made fashion much more accessible, and it's made fashion much more democratic. You know, I think when I was a kid, I love fashion. I still love fashion, but I never had the internet. I didn't have anywhere I could go to do research. I didn't have anyone I could just tweet a question to and hopefully they'll answer me. I had nothing, and I had to sort of decipher all that all on my own. And I think what we have today is so great. We have an open line of communication in so many ways to find out what works for us in terms of the world of fashion. I love it. And Keith is a big gateway to that. I mean, our Elle.com traffic is, what, 2 million a month, 2 million uniques a month. Keith has the ability to say, your story works, your collection works, we want to feature it, or we don't. And I think that's a really big deal for these designers.
For sure. And so I actually follow you on Twitter.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
I think I tweeted at you once, and you replied to Fashion Notes.
Oh.
So I saw that along with creative director, you list yourself as a backup dancer.
You did your research.
I love backup dancing. My friend and I often make up backup dancing moves.
You do?
So I was wondering if you had any good tips for backup dancing.
Yeah, don't be afraid to look like a fool, because that's what I do every single time. I love dance. I love the art of dance. I think it's just another level of self-expression, another level of creativity. You know, a lot of my friends are amazing professional dancers. I'm not anywhere near that, but
we can imagine.
I know, but I love that aspect of it. I think, you know, it's just, to me, a really free way of self-expression.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just be silly.
That.
That's what it's about.
I know,
being
that
silly,
is what
right?
It's about. Big arm movements.
Oh my God! I just think I'm Beyonce all the time.
Yeah, and she's a great person to backup dance to as well.
Absolutely, my life is single, ladies.
Yes, me too. Oh my gosh. So, how important do you think it is for designers and brands to use social media to communicate with their consumers?
Oh my God,
Because
I
some
think-
brands are kind of on the fence, right?
Yeah, I think brands are foolish to not jump on the social media bandwagon, and I think those who are resistant to it always immediately find them succumbing to it. So
Yeah.
it's great, it's an open line of communication to people who like your brand. Why wouldn't you want to have a dialogue? Why wouldn't you be able to want to have a discussion with people who love what you do? I
Yeah.
think it's a given to me. I love talking to people. I love, always answering questions, talking about questions, discussing. I mean, for me, Twitter's almost like a focus group in a way. You can throw a question out there and get a ton of responses. I love that.
I love how you can send out the question, maybe somebody reads it, maybe not, but you never know. You might get an answer.
Absolutely. Don't you think? And I
Yeah.
think, I love when people don't respond. I love when people respond because you can see what really resonates with people.
Yeah, and sometimes it's unexpected to who's responding or what they may say, which
I
is
know,
great.
it's true. It's true.
So my final question is, do you have any advice for people who are maybe trying to break into the fashion world, whether it be working at a fashion magazine or being a fashion designer?
I think you have to stand out. I think it's really tough. We're living in an age where everything is very oversaturated. We
Yeah,
have too
for
many
sure.
stylists. We have too many photographers. We have too many designers. We just have too many of everything. But that's not to say we couldn't use another. If you're good at what you do
Yeah.
and you're different at what you do, you'll rise to the top. And I believe that.
Great. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being with
you.
us. And we
And-
look forward to all the episodes to come of Online.
Oh, I hope you guys will love it too. And you look great in your color blocking. I love
I'll
it.
keep trying.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.